It is August 1st, and I do not know the exact time anymore because the clocks have been wrong since yesterday. I am sitting here inside this small radio station in the middle of Columbus, Ohio. The only thing keeping the signal alive is a small diesel generator out behind the building. It rattles so hard I can feel it through the floor. The fuel won't last forever, and that thought is sitting in my chest like a heavy rock. The air in here is thick. It smells like metal, old coffee, and sweat. Outside the window there's nothing but a still gray sky, the kind that makes it hard to know if it is morning or evening. There is no wind. Even the birds that used to scream on the power lines are gone. I keep catching myself waiting for a car horn, or a plane overhead, or even the hum of an air conditioner. But there is nothing. It is so quiet out there that when a piece of trash rolls across the parking lot, I can hear it. I am Alex Storm. I don't know who is still listening. Maybe no one. Maybe you are somewhere sitting close to an old radio like this, and you can hear my voice. If you can, that means I am not talking only to myself. I keep telling myself that is worth something. I am trying not to think too hard about what is happening outside, because the moment I step out of this building, I know it will be worse than I can imagine. The last time I was out there was yesterday, right after the flash in the sky. Pretend you've just connected to this frequency. What do you tell the world in 15 seconds? I should start there. Yesterday, around noon, the whole sky went white. It was like the sun had fallen open. It wasn't just light, it was heat. You could feel it on your skin like when you open an oven door, only 100 times stronger. Every screen went black. Every single one. I had the TV on in the lobby of the station, and it just died. My phone died. The computers here all went dead. Then there was this weird silence, like the whole city had just been muted. I ran outside, and I swear to you, every car had stopped at the same time. People got out of them like they thought they could just start walking. You could see the panic on their faces. People were looking at their phones and hitting them, like that would bring them back to life. The first hour after that was chaos. People tried to use landlines, but they were dead too. Nothing worked. It didn't take long for the fires to start. The worst one I saw was just a few blocks away. A city bus had crashed into a line of parked cars, and the whole thing went up. People were screaming and trying to pull people out. I ran to help, but there was no water pressure in the hydrants. There was nothing you could do except stand there and watch. That's when I knew this wasn't just some blackout. This was something bigger. I remember looking up at the sun, because it was wrong. It looked bigger, like it was burning holes into the sky. I know some people who used to work at the old electrical grid station out by Alum Creek. I went out there last night to see if they had answers. I found one of them, Gary. He was sitting in a lawn chair by the gate with a shotgun on his lap like he was expecting trouble. He told me he has never seen anything like this. He said the surge fried everything, not just the power. He said every transformer is done. Every backup system is dead. He used a word for it, an EMP, but then he shook his head and said no, this was worse. He said this came from the sun itself. A solar storm so big that it hit the earth like a hammer. He said the grids are gone. Not just here, everywhere. Then he laughed, the kind of laugh people do when they are scared out of their minds. He said, if this was what he thinks it is, there's no fixing it. Not for years. Not even for decades. And that was the moment I felt the air go cold, even though it was still hot outside. I came back here because this station is all I know. The only thing that still works in this whole place are the old analog transmitters and the generator. I turned the mic on because I don't know what else to do. I can't reach anyone by phone. The internet is gone. Even the shortwave radios are hit or miss. This voice, this signal, is the last thing I have to offer. If you can hear this, find other people. Do not stay alone. Do not wait for someone to come save you. Nobody is coming. The police are gone. The National Guard is gone. I have been calling into empty air all day. No one is answering. When I look outside now, I see people wandering like they are lost. Some of them are carrying bags of food, whatever they grabbed from the stores. Most stores were stripped clean in less than a day. If you are near one of the highways, stay away from the overpasses. People have been ambushing anyone with supplies. I saw it with my own eyes on Interstate 70. A guy tried to drive an old pickup through, and 3 people pulled him out. They beat him so bad he couldn't stand, and then they drove away with his truck. This is how fast everything falls apart. I need to say this because there is still a small window for those who are alive and listening. Fill up containers with water now. Every container you can find. If you think you have enough, you don't. The taps are already spitting air. Get canned food. Don't waste time on fresh food. It will rot fast without power. Find candles, matches, anything that does not run on batteries. If you have a bike, guard it with your life. The roads are jammed with dead cars, so bikes are the only way to move without being trapped. Keep your groups small, but not too small. 2 to 5 people. That is what I keep hearing from people I trust. Enough to keep watch while the others sleep. I need to talk about the way it feels out there because if you're inside and thinking maybe it's not so bad, I need you to know. It is not just quiet. It feels like the whole city has been emptied of life. You can smell the smoke from miles away because there are no fans or air systems to move it. It just sits there. It smells like burnt rubber, plastic, and something else I don't want to name. I keep waiting to hear the sirens, but there are no sirens. The only sounds are glass breaking and voices yelling somewhere far away. It's like the city has turned into a big cave. I don't know how long I can keep doing this. I'm going to stay on the air for as long as the fuel holds out. When the generator dies, this voice dies with it. If I can get my hands on more fuel, I will. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. This microphone is the only thing keeping me from losing my mind. Talking makes me feel like maybe someone is out there. If you are hearing this and you are close to Columbus, I'm in the old WCOH station on the east side. There is a red water tower out front with a big white stripe across the middle. If you can see that tower, you're close. If you come here, bring water, bring food. I can't promise safety, but at least we can try to think together. That is better than waiting to die alone. I want to tell you about the last thing Gary said to me last night before I came back here. He said, "This isn't just going to be about power. It's about time. We just got thrown back 100 years in one day. The people who remember how to live like that are the ones who will make it." I didn't know what to say, so I just drove back here with that in my head. It hasn't left me. I am tired. My hands are shaking on the desk. It feels like the whole room is tilted, like the floor itself is moving under me. I haven't slept since yesterday. I can't close my eyes without seeing that flash in the sky. I don't know if it burned into my brain or if it's just fear. I'll stay here as long as I can. If you can hear me, hold on. Do not panic. Do not give up. If you are alone, talk to someone near you. even if they are a stranger. We are all we have now. I have been sitting here watching the light outside shift from gray to a kind of dull orange. I do not know if that means the day is ending, or if there is smoke drifting over from the fires downtown. The whole horizon looks wrong now. The skyline of Columbus that used to have glass buildings catching the sunlight is just dark, like someone cut their shapes out of black paper. The longer this goes on, the more you start to notice things that never stop. The air never moves. The hum of power lines is gone. Even the bugs seem to be gone. I grew up here, and there was always the sound of crickets when things got quiet. Now, I don't hear even one. It makes you feel like the whole earth just exhaled and never inhaled again. There is this heat still sitting over the city, like a lid. I thought the night would cool it down, but it didn't. When I went out behind the station last night to get another jug of fuel, I could feel the pavement still burning the bottoms of my shoes. I stood there for a minute with the gas can and looked at the sky. The stars were there, but they seemed dim, almost like the light from them had to push through something thick. I could hear pops far away, like gunshots or tires exploding, but I couldn't tell which. Inside here, the heat is worse. I opened all the windows, but there's no breeze. It's just still air, and it smells faintly of mildew and paper. I keep sweating until my shirt is stuck to my back, and every time I think about taking a break, I remember what it felt like to be outside last night, with no walls around me. It felt like standing in a graveyard that stretched forever. At least in here, talking into this microphone, I can pretend I'm not alone. I want to tell you about what happened earlier today, because it's the first time I have seen the city really lose itself. Around noon, I stepped outside to see if the gas station across the street still had anything left. When I crossed the parking lot, I saw a group of people standing by the corner. There were about 15 of them. They weren't talking. They were just looking around like they couldn't decide where to go. Then one man started shouting that the water plant was shut down, that nothing was coming out of the taps anymore. That was all it took. People started running like animals, pushing each other, some of them screaming. Someone smashed a window to a hardware store and they all poured inside. I stood there frozen, thinking I should run back, but I couldn't move. It felt like I was watching a dam break in slow motion. They were grabbing anything, hammers, ropes, boxes of nails, like none of it made sense. They just needed to take something. I backed up slowly so no one would notice me. When I got back inside and locked the door, I heard more windows breaking. It didn't stop for a long time. When the noise finally faded, I went to the window to look. The street was empty again. Just glass on the ground and a few paper bags blowing around. I saw a kid, maybe 8 or 9, holding a wrench that was too big for him. He walked past the station and didn't even look up. I don't know how to explain it, but people are changing fast. Yesterday, they were still talking to each other, still asking questions. Today they look hollow, like someone pulled the person out of them and left only the body. If this keeps going, I don't know what this place will look like by the end of the week. I've been thinking about that flash. It keeps playing in my head like a loop. I can't stop trying to remember if there was a sound. I don't think there was. Just this blinding wall of white light, and then the world went dead. Gary, the guy from the power station, said the last time something like this happened was in 1859. He called it the Carrington event. Back then, it only burned up some telegraph lines because that was all there was. He said, if something like that hit us now, it would fry everything. He thinks that's what this is, only worse. He thinks the sun hit us so hard that everything with a wire inside it is finished. Cars, airplanes, hospitals, satellites. He said, there's no easy fix because this isn't like flipping a breaker back on. It's all burned from the inside out. He said the only things that will work now are things built before all the computers took over, or things so simple that no surge could hurt them. That's why this old transmitter still works. That's why the generator outside keeps running. No computer chips in either of them. Everything else is silent. I keep wondering if anyone in the government is still alive or still working. I've been scanning the airwaves since last night, trying to pick up even a weak signal. There's nothing. No emergency messages, no news broadcasts, just static. It makes you realize how much of our world was built on invisible things in the air. And now the air has gone quiet. The only reason I can even talk to you is because this signal doesn't need towers or satellites. It just pushes out into the dark like a voice in a cave. I don't even know if it goes past the city limits. If you are hearing this 100 miles away, I can't imagine what it sounds like by the time it reaches you. There is something else Gary said that I keep thinking about. He said the sun isn't done, that once it spits out something that big, it can keep sending smaller ones for days. So if you see the sky light up again, do not look. Get underground if you can. Even if you have to hide in a ditch, just get low. He said that whatever happens after the first one will be worse, because now we are defenseless. I don't know if he's right, but he sounded sure. I don't know what the rest of the world looks like. I don't even know what's happening beyond a few blocks from this building. The last person I talked to before I came in today said they heard that Chicago went dark too, and Detroit, and Cincinnati. That makes me think this isn't just here. It has to be everywhere. If you're in another city, and somehow this is getting through, I want you to know that Columbus is still here, but it's falling apart fast. Right now, the thing I keep thinking about is water. If you're in a house or a building with a water heater, that tank might be the last clean water you can get for a while. Don't waste it. Get buckets, get pots, get bottles, fill everything. Once the pressure drops and the pipes are empty, that's it. Streams and ponds are all we'll have, and you'll need to boil that. I don't know how long gas stoves will keep working. I'm afraid of the moment when even that goes quiet. The food is already disappearing. This morning I saw 3 people fighting over a loaf of bread on the sidewalk. A whole store with aisles and aisles of food, and they were fighting over one loaf. I don't know what it's going to be like in 3 days, or a week. There are some people who came prepared. You can see it on their faces when they walk past carrying bags they packed before this all hit. Then there are the rest of us, walking into stores with nothing but a backpack and hope. I want to tell you about something that happened a couple of hours ago. It's the first time I felt something like hope since yesterday. I was standing in the lobby, looking out at the street, when a group of people came by. There were 5 of them. 2 men, 2 women, and a boy. They looked tired. Their clothes were dirty, like they had been sleeping outside. They stopped across the street and set down these big jugs they were carrying. Then I saw them start handing out cups of water to anyone who came by. No fighting, no yelling. They just passed it out like it was normal. For a minute, it felt like the world hadn't ended. People stood there in a line, waiting their turn. One of the men even smiled at a little kid who was crying and poured her a full cup. When the jugs were empty, they picked them up and walked on. I don't know where they came from. I don't know if they will be back, but for a few minutes, It reminded me that not everyone is turning into an animal. I have been thinking about what my next move is. Part of me wants to lock the doors and stay in here for as long as the generator holds out. But I know that when the fuel runs out, I'll have no choice. I'll have to go outside and figure out how to live in this new place that doesn't feel like the same Earth anymore. I'm trying not to think too far ahead. Just hour to hour. That's the only way this makes sense. It's strange to sit here with the microphone and imagine someone out there in the dark with an old battery radio turning the dial until they hear me. It makes me feel like there's still a thin wire between us. If you are out there, know that I am still talking. Know that there is still someone awake here. I remember the night before this happened. I was sitting at my kitchen table, scrolling on my phone like always. Music playing in the background. Lights on. I remember thinking I had things to do tomorrow. And now tomorrow is here, and none of those things matter. The bills, the emails, the appointments. They are all gone. All that's left is staying alive. It makes me realize how much of my life was made out of things that didn't mean anything at all, and how fast it can all be erased. I keep thinking about my mother. She lives across town, and I don't know if she's okay. I tried to get there yesterday, but the roads were so jammed with cars that I couldn't even walk through. People had left them right where they stopped, doors open, some with suitcases still in the back seat. I shouted her name as I walked, but there were so many people and so much noise, I couldn't hear anything back. I had to turn around when the sun went down because I didn't want to be caught in the dark without knowing where I was. If I can get enough fuel, I'll try again tomorrow. If you are hearing this, I need you to do something for me. Don't just sit there and wait. Move. Find the people you care about. Hold on to them. Make a plan. If you have an old paper map, mark the places where you can meet if you get separated. Use chalk or spray paint to leave signs. Anything. Because once it gets dark, it's like the city disappears. You can get lost on a street you've known your whole life. The heat is getting worse. My shirt is sticking to my arms. The sweat is dripping down into my eyes. I can barely think straight. I've been drinking from a gallon jug I found in the break room, but I don't know how long it will last. I need to remind myself to ration it. I never thought I would have to use that word here. Ration. But here I am. There's a smell in the air now. It's faint, but it's there, like metal and ash. It makes the back of my throat feel raw. I keep looking at the door, half expecting someone to walk in. So far, no one has. I don't know what tonight will bring. Yesterday, when the sun went down, the world turned into a different place. You could hear people screaming far away. Some of it sounded angry. Some of it sounded scared. Once or twice, I heard glass breaking. Then it would get quiet again, like the city was holding its breath. I don't know how long it will stay that way. I don't know how much worse it can get. I did not sleep last night. Every time I closed my eyes, I could hear something moving outside the station. I don't know if it was animals or people. Around midnight, there was a sound of something metal falling, maybe a trash can, and then footsteps running away. I sat on the floor in the corner with the bat across my lap, staring at the door, waiting for someone to push it open. No one came, but I never went back to sleep after that. Around 3 a.m, the generator sputtered. I thought that was it. I thought the lights would go out, and this last voice would just vanish. I ran out behind the building with a flashlight and refilled it with the last of the fuel from the red can. It's half full now. That means I have maybe a day left before it goes quiet. I stood there in the dark, pouring gas with shaking hands, and I couldn't hear a single sound except my own breath. I kept turning my head, looking at the empty parking lot, waiting for someone to come out of the shadows, but no one did. When the sun started to come up this morning, it was not the same sun. It was red around the edges, like it was bleeding into the sky. I watched it from the roof for a while. Everything was so quiet that I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. I sat up there thinking about how strange it is to see a city like this. No traffic, no lights, just empty streets stretching out like veins that no longer carry blood. The smoke is thicker today. Somewhere to the west, there must be a big fire burning because the air smells heavy, like plastic and burnt wood. I came back inside and tried the radio again, just to see if anything had changed. Nothing. Just static. No signals from anywhere. It's like the whole planet just went silent. It's hard to believe that in the span of one flash, every voice that used to fill the air is gone. I've been thinking about yesterday, about all the small things I took for granted. Cold water coming out of a tap, the way you could hear cars going by outside all the time, being able to text someone when you were scared. I keep looking at my phone even though I know it will never turn on again. It's just a piece of black glass now. I saw something strange this morning. Around 8, I heard voices outside and peeked through the blinds. There was a group of 6 men walking down the middle of the street, carrying wooden boards. They weren't shouting. They weren't even talking much. They just walked slow, looking at the buildings on both sides. They had this look on their faces like they were already planning something. They stopped at the gas station across the street and looked inside. Then they pulled the doors open, walked in, and started carrying out whatever was left. They didn't rush. They just took their time, loading it all into a shopping cart they found. After about 15 minutes, they left, pushing the cart away. I waited for them to look at this building, but they didn't. I think they will come back. They looked like people who were making a list in their heads. I've been thinking about whether I should try to leave the city, go out into the countryside and find somewhere smaller, somewhere quieter. But the roads are blocked. Even if I could get through, I don't know what's waiting out there. If this really hit everywhere, there's no safe place. Just different kinds of danger. Something strange is happening with the sky. The sun feels harsher. Even when it's behind the clouds, the light feels sharp. When you stand outside for even a few minutes, your skin starts to sting. People are starting to cover up, wearing long sleeves and scarves, even in this heat. I saw a woman this morning with a sheet wrapped around her head and hands. She looked like she had been burned. Her face was red and peeling. I think whatever came from the sun didn't just fry the machines. It did something to the air. I don't know what to tell you, except that the city is changing fast. Yesterday there were still some stores that had their doors open, people trying to help each other. Today the doors are boarded up. People are hiding inside. Every once in a while you'll hear glass break or wood splinter when someone tries to get in, but no one comes out to stop them. Everyone is looking out for themselves now. That happened in just one day. I keep thinking about how thin the line was, how we thought everything was solid, how a single bright flash turned the whole thing to dust. I feel like I'm living in a dream where the world looks the same, but none of the rules apply anymore. I'm going to tell you what I have left for supplies, because maybe it will help you make a plan of your own. I have 4 bottles of water, each one about a liter. I have 7 cans of food, 2 bags of crackers, and a jar of peanut butter. I have 1 lighter, 1 flashlight, and a radio that runs on a crank. I don't have any medicine. If I get sick, that's it. This is all I have, and I am alone. If you are in the same position, make a plan today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Get everything you can and keep it close. Stay off the main streets. If you hear people shouting, don't go toward it. Find a place where you can see, but not be seen. And if you can, find someone to watch your back. That is the hardest part right now. Being alone. I am going to tell you about something I saw yesterday evening that I can't stop thinking about. There was a man standing on top of a delivery truck on the other side of the road. He had a baseball cap on backwards, and he was holding a big stick, just standing there. He looked out over the street like he was guarding something. Then he started yelling that everyone should stay away, that it was his block now. People walked around him like he was a scarecrow. He stayed there until dark. I haven't seen him since, but I keep thinking about him. About how fast someone can turn into a guard over nothing. I think this is just the beginning. The food is going to run out soon. The water is already gone. People are scared. And scared people do desperate things. I don't want this whole broadcast to be fear. I want to tell you that I saw something good today too. Down by the end of the block, there's a house with a front porch. This morning I saw 3 people sitting there with a little grill, cooking something. They had a pot on top of it. When someone walked by, they waved them over and gave them a bowl. They didn't look afraid. They just sat there sharing food like it was any other summer day. I don't know why that image stuck in my head so hard. Maybe because it reminded me of what normal used to feel like. I think about normal all the time now. About how much I used to hate small talk. And now I'd give anything for a simple conversation that wasn't about survival. If you can hear me, if you're alone, don't stay that way. Find a porch like that one. Even if it's just for an hour. Sit with someone. Talk. Eat. Listen. It will remind you you're still alive. The heat is rising again. My throat is dry. I need to drink, but I'm trying to make it last. I'm going to stay on the air as long as the fuel holds out. I don't know if I'll be able to do this tomorrow. If I can't, then I want this to be the last thing you hear from me for now. Stay alive. Keep moving. And remember that there are still people out there trying to help, even when it feels like there aren't. I just came back from outside, and I need to talk about what I saw while it's still fresh in my head. I went out through the back door, carrying one of the empty fuel cans. I thought maybe I could find something, even a few drops, but as soon as I stepped out there, the air hit me like a wall. It's hotter than yesterday. It feels like someone is holding a hairdryer on my face all the time. The heat bounces up off the pavement so hard that it feels like it's coming at you from 2 directions. The smell is worse now too. It's not just smoke. There's something else mixed in with it. Something sour and thick that sticks in the back of your throat. I walked to the gas station across the street. The windows are gone now. I don't know when it happened. Inside, it's almost empty. Shelves knocked over. The floor covered with broken bottles. I walked up and down every aisle, looking for anything that people might have missed. There was nothing. Not a single can, not a single bottle of water. I found a small bag of pretzels that someone must have dropped under one of the shelves. I took it. I feel like I stole it, even though there was no one there. That's how strange things feel now. Like even empty places are watching you. When I came back outside, there was a sound down the street. I froze. It was the sound of something being dragged, slow and steady. Then a man came into view. He was pulling a sled made from a piece of metal, and on top of it were 3 big plastic containers of water. They looked heavy. He stopped every few steps to catch his breath. When he saw me, he didn't say anything. He just stared at me for a long moment, and I stared back. Then he turned and kept walking. I didn't try to follow him. I don't know where he got that water. I don't know if it was worth killing someone for. But I do know that if someone else had been out there, it could have ended badly. I came back to the station and locked the door. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely turn the key. That look in his eyes, it was like he was already prepared to fight for what he had. I can't stop thinking about it. How thin the distance is between surviving and being someone you don't recognize anymore. I sat down at the desk, opened the bag of pretzels, and ate a handful. The salt burned my mouth because I'm so thirsty. I had to force myself not to eat them all at once. It's the first thing I've eaten since last night. That's the new rhythm now. One small meal when the sun comes up, one small meal when it goes down. I want to talk about the city because every hour that goes by, it changes. The streets are emptier, but the noises are closer. You can hear things breaking all the time. You can hear doors slamming, and sometimes voices yelling. I think people are starting to break into buildings now. Yesterday, it was just stores. Now it's houses. There's something about the silence that makes every sound huge. When a car door closes, it echoes. When a bottle rolls across the street, you can hear it for half a block. And when someone screams, it sticks to the air long after they've gone quiet. Last night, I heard a scream that sounded like it came from right outside this building. I didn't look. I sat there in the dark with my back against the door and waited for it to stop. I keep wondering if this is how it felt 100 years ago, when there was no hum of machines, when night was really dark. Only this feels worse because we know what it's like to have light, to have everything at our fingertips. Now it's all gone, and every single person feels that hole where the world used to be. This morning, I found an old notepad in the desk drawer. I've started writing down everything I see, not just for me, but in case someone finds it later. Maybe it'll help them understand how it all happened. The first page is yesterday, August 1st. The sky burned. Everything stopped. By noon, the city was dead. By evening, people started breaking things. Today, August 2nd, no water, no food, no signals. The first night was loud. The second day is quieter, but it feels heavier. I don't know how long I can keep counting the days like this, but I'm going to try. The generator is still running, but it's louder now. I don't know if that's just in my head, or if it's starting to fail. Every hour I think about turning it off to save fuel. But then I remember what it's like to sit here in the dark, with no sound but my own breathing. I'm not ready for that yet. Something strange happened about an hour ago. I was sitting here at the desk, staring at the microphone, trying to think of what to say next. Then I heard a faint crackling sound from the shortwave radio. At first, I thought it was just static, but then I swear I heard a voice. It was only a few words, and it was so broken up that I couldn't make out what they said. I grabbed the dial and started turning it slow, trying to lock onto it. But before I could, it was gone. Just like that. I don't know if it was real or if I imagined it. But for a moment, I thought maybe someone else was still out there trying to talk. I'm going to keep listening, just in case. I want to say this again because it's the only thing that matters right now. Find water. If you're listening to this and you're in a place where there's still running water, don't waste it. Fill up everything you can. Drink slowly. Keep it cool if you can. If you don't have water, move. Don't wait until you're too weak to walk. Water is everything now. I keep thinking about my mother, about the last time I talked to her on the phone. It was the day before all of this, and we argued about something small. Something so small I can't even remember what it was. If I had known that was the last time I would ever hear her voice, I would have stayed on the phone all night. I would have told her everything I never said. That thought has been sitting in my chest like a knife since yesterday. I don't know if she's alive. I don't know if I'll ever find out. All I can do is hope that she's somewhere safe, that she found water, that she has people around her. That's what I want for everyone who's hearing this right now. Find someone. Hold on to them. Don't let this break you apart. There's a clock on the wall here, and it's still ticking because it's not electric. Every time it ticks, it sounds like it's mocking me, like it's counting down to something. I can't take my eyes off it. I keep thinking about how much time we used to waste, just letting it slide by. Now, every second feels like something sharp. I think I'm going to try to leave the station tomorrow. Not for good, just to see if I can find more fuel. If I can't, then this signal will die in a day or two. If that happens, if you don't hear me again, just know that I tried. I'll leave a note on the door saying where I went. Maybe someone will see it. I don't know if I'll make it back. The streets are getting worse. People are more desperate. But I have to try. I can't stay here waiting for the generator to run dry. It's getting hotter now. The air feels thick. I'm going to drink a little water and try to cool down before I pass out. If you can hear me, stay alive. If you can find someone, help them. And if you can't, at least talk to them. Even a few words can remind someone they're still here. That's what I'm trying to do with this microphone. Remind myself, and maybe you, that we're still here. I'm talking softer now because the air feels thick and heavy, like even sound doesn't want to travel far today. The city has a strange weight to it. The sky is pale and colorless, and there's this light that hurts your eyes, even though the sun is hidden. I've opened all the windows in the station, and there's still no wind. It's like the air has stopped moving. There's a taste in my mouth like dust or metal. I don't know if it's from the smoke or if something's wrong with the air itself. Every time I breathe, it scratches. I spent the last few hours just walking around the building, peeking out of different windows, trying to keep track of what's happening out there. The streets are changing again. It isn't panic anymore. It's slower now, heavier. People don't run, they shuffle. I saw a man sitting on the curb with his head in his hands, rocking back and forth. His shoulders were shaking like he was crying, but there was no sound. 2 blocks away, I saw 3 people walking with their arms full of plastic bags. They weren't talking to each other. They just stared straight ahead, like the weight in their hands was the only thing they could think about. It's strange how fast people start to fade into the background when there are no cars, no music, no lights. You can see someone 100 feet away, and it's like they're a shadow until they move. The city feels like it's made out of ghosts now. There are new fires today. I can see smoke in 3 different directions. Big black plumes curling up into the still sky. None of them are close enough to see what's burning, but the smell gets stronger as the day goes on. It makes the air taste like something burned a long time ago and never stopped burning. Around an hour ago, I walked out the back again with the empty fuel can, thinking maybe I'd try another building farther down. But when I opened the door, I stopped. There were footsteps, not close, but steady. I stood there holding the can and listening. Then I saw them. A group of 8 people walking down the alley. They were all carrying things, wooden boards, a broom handle, a metal pole. They weren't looking around. They were walking like they knew exactly where they were going. I ducked back inside and locked the door. My heart was beating so loud that I thought they'd hear it. I don't think they saw me. I waited for 10 minutes before I went to the window. They were gone. The alley was empty again. It hit me then, harder than yesterday, that this is what the city is now. Groups forming, people arming themselves, streets dividing between who has something and who doesn't, and me here, behind a locked door, hoping they don't notice the generator. The generator is louder today. I don't know if that's just because I'm more scared, or because it's running harder. It feels like it echoes through the walls. I keep imagining someone walking past and hearing it, stopping, following the sound right to me. I thought about turning it off, just to be safe, but then I would be sitting here in the heat and the silence. I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. I tried the shortwave again. Nothing but static. I thought maybe I heard a voice, faint and broken, but it could have been my head making shapes out of noise. It's so easy to start hearing things when all you have left is static. I keep thinking about something Gary said, the man from the power station. He said the sun might not be done yet, that sometimes these storms come in waves. The first one knocks everything down, and the ones after finish it. I keep looking at the sky, waiting for that flash again. If it happens, there's no shelter here, no basement, no underground place, just walls and a thin roof. I don't know what I'd do. I can't spend the whole day waiting for it, but I also can't stop looking. The heat is worse than yesterday. It feels like it's pressing on me. Every few minutes I have to stop talking and take a drink, just to keep my throat from closing up. I've been rationing carefully, but I can already feel how fast the water is disappearing. When I pick up the bottles, they're lighter than they were this morning. I don't want to think about what happens when they're empty. I saw something today that I can't shake. There was a boy, maybe 13 or 14, sitting on the roof of a car in the middle of the street. He was alone. His arms were wrapped around his knees, and he was staring down the road. I watched him for a long time. No one came for him. After about an hour, he climbed down, picked up a backpack that looked almost empty, and walked away. His shoulders were hunched like the weight of that bag was the heaviest thing in the world. I wanted to shout to him, but I didn't. I couldn't make my voice work, and I didn't know what I could do for him even if I did. I stood there, frozen, watching him get smaller until he turned a corner and was gone. That image keeps replaying in my head. The way he moved, the way he didn't look back once. I know there are people listening right now who feel just like that boy, alone, carrying whatever's left of your life on your back, wondering where to go, wondering if there's even a point in moving. I don't have an answer, but I know this. Standing still won't save you. If you can hear me, if you can get up, keep going. Even if you don't know where, just move. The second night is coming. You can feel it in the air. The light outside has already started to change. It's getting darker, slower than normal, but darker all the same. When the night comes, the sounds change. I don't know how to explain it except that the city starts talking in a different voice. During the day, the sounds are far away. At night, they are right outside the door. The silence between them is heavier. It's like you can feel people waiting in the dark. Last night I thought I heard someone whispering through the wall. I got up, pressed my ear against it, and there was nothing. Then, 10 minutes later, I heard a laugh. Soft, like someone was sitting outside. I sat there with the bat in my hands, not breathing until it stopped. I don't know if it was real, or if it was just my head making things up to fill the silence. That's what scares me most about this whole thing. Not the hunger, not the thirst. The way the silence starts to change your head. Makes you hear things. Makes you see things out of the corner of your eye that aren't really there. I've been looking at the map pinned to the wall in this station. It's of Ohio. I keep tracing the roads with my finger, thinking about how far I could get on foot. Thinking about where I might find my mother. Thinking about what I'd do if I found her house empty. I can't stay here forever. I know that. This microphone feels like the only thing holding me in place. As long as I keep talking, I feel like I'm not gone yet. I wonder if anyone has heard me in another state. If this signal even reaches that far. Maybe someone in Indiana, or Kentucky, or West Virginia. If you can hear this and you're far away, maybe you're in the same shape we are. Maybe worse. Maybe better. I wish I could know. The sun is setting now. The sky has that strange red glow again, the kind that looks like the world is on fire even when it's not. I can feel the city holding its breath, waiting for the night. I am too. If you can hear this, find a safe place before the light is gone. Lock the doors. Block the windows. Keep quiet. Don't open the door for anyone unless you know them. Whatever is waiting out there tonight, you don't want to meet it. I'll keep talking as long as the fuel holds out. This is all I can do now. This voice, these words. A thin thread stretched across the dark, hoping someone, somewhere, is on the other end. The night is here again, and it feels different tonight. It's quieter, but in a way that makes my skin crawl. Yesterday, I could hear glass breaking and yelling almost every hour. Tonight, there's nothing. That silence feels like something is hiding, waiting. I keep walking from one window to the other with the flashlight, shining it out for just a second before I switch it off again. Every time I look, the street looks emptier than it did before, like the buildings are leaning in on me. I've pulled a chair right up to the microphone because it feels like if I stop talking for too long, the dark will come in. The station is just a square of weak light surrounded by a whole city that has turned into a shadow. The generator hums out back like a heart that could stop beating at any moment. Every few minutes, I hear it shift, like it's choking. When that happens, my stomach drops. I've been thinking all day about whether I should try to leave tomorrow. I don't want to. Everything in me is saying stay here where there's a locked door. But the water bottles are lighter, and I know they'll be empty soon. Once that happens, it won't matter how thick the walls are. I've been trying to plan the safest route out of the city. The paper map on the wall is full of marks now. Red pen circles around places I think I can get to without getting trapped. I don't know if it will work. Most of the cars are dead in the middle of the streets. It's like a maze now. I tried the shortwave again tonight. Static. Static. Then a sound that almost felt like a voice but faded before I could catch it. It makes me want to scream, knowing that maybe someone is out there and I can't hear them clearly enough. It's like trying to talk to someone through a wall with your face pressed to the wood. You can hear the shape of a voice, but none of the words. I've started noticing new smells. Not just smoke. Something else. Something sour. Like food that has been sitting too long in the heat. I think it's starting to come from the houses. No one is taking care of anything. The heat just keeps making everything worse. Around 2 hours ago, I saw movement outside. A small figure, crouched low, running from one car to another. It stopped behind a delivery truck, stayed there for maybe 5 minutes, then it bolted again, vanishing into the alley. I waited a long time, watching. It never came back. I don't know if it was a kid or a small adult, but whoever it was, they knew how to move without making a sound. I saw something else. The man I saw yesterday, the one on top of the truck claiming the block, he's gone. Someone spray painted something on the side of the truck in big black letters. I can't read all of it from here, but the first word says keep, and the second word starts with an O. I think it says keep out. That's what's happening now. Every block is starting to belong to someone. If you're not part of them, you don't belong. I keep thinking about how fast this happened. 2 days ago, the city was alive. Now it feels like we're living in a book about the end of everything. Except it's not a book. It's not a story. There's no one turning the page. I've been thinking about my mom. I can't stop. It's like a hook pulling me north. I know the way to her house, but the roads are long. It's 60, 70 miles. On foot, that could take days. Days without water, without safety. But the thought of not knowing is killing me faster than thirst. If the fuel runs out, maybe I'll have no choice. Maybe I'll just start walking and keep walking until I can't. The light in here flickered a few minutes ago. I froze. I thought that was it. It steadied again, but my hands are still shaking. That moment when you think everything is about to go dark, there's no way to describe it. It's like standing on the edge of a cliff. There's something about this building at night. It creaks. The air feels like it's pressing against the walls, trying to get in. I don't know if that's just in my head. Maybe the heat is making the wood swell. Maybe I'm imagining it because I haven't slept in more than a day. I found a small old AM radio in the storage room. It runs on a crank. I turned it for 10 minutes until my arm ached. Static, that's all. But I'm going to keep it. Something about holding it makes me feel better. Like it's a lifeline, even if no one is talking on the other end. The night has sounds now. Small, thin sounds. I can hear something tapping out back. Maybe metal shifting as it cools, but it sounds like footsteps sometimes. I hear something scraping against the pavement. Not close, but slow. I don't dare open the door. The air smells like rust tonight. The kind of smell you get from old coins. It's sharp. My tongue tastes it when I breathe. I've been talking all day and my throat feels raw. My voice keeps cracking. Every time it happens, I drink a tiny sip of water, but I don't want to waste it. It's funny how careful you get when you know there's no store around the corner anymore. No way to just grab another bottle. Everything is precious now. I have been watching the horizon to the west. There's a faint glow there, not from the sun. It's like something big is burning. It doesn't flicker like a house fire. It's steady, like a whole block is lit up. I can't tell if it's getting closer. Part of me wants to climb up on the roof again to see better, but I'm scared to be out there in the open. If someone sees me, they'll know this building isn't empty. I think about how much of the city I haven't seen since all this started. How I used to drive past neighborhoods every day without even looking at them. Now I wonder what those streets look like. How many people are still alive out there? How many have already given up? The boy I saw earlier today, the one walking away with the backpack, keeps coming back to my mind. I keep seeing his back, his head down, that thin line of a figure getting smaller. It makes me wonder how many kids are out there now, walking like that. How many parents are looking for them. It's the kind of thought that makes your chest feel like it's caving in. I've decided something. If the fuel dies tomorrow or the next day, I'll head north. I'll leave a note here on the door with a marker. I'll write where I'm going in case anyone else finds this place. If anyone is hearing me now and needs a place to come, this station might be safe for a few more days. East side of Columbus, red water tower out front, WCOH in peeling paint on the wall. If you can get here and you need a place to catch your breath, it's open until the fuel dies. After that, it will just be a locked shell. If you make it here and I'm gone, take whatever you can. Use it to stay alive. That's all that matters now. The night feels closer now. The air has that heavy, waiting feeling again. I don't know what's going to happen out there in the next few hours. I'll keep talking until my voice stops working or the lights go out. If you can hear me right now, I want to tell you this before the night takes everything. You're not the only one left. Even if you can't see anyone, even if it feels like the whole world has gone silent, there's still someone talking to you. Hold on. That's all we can do now. Just hold on. It is morning again, though you wouldn't know it from looking at the sky. The color is strange. Not blue, not gray, just a pale flat sheet that seems to suck the life out of everything beneath it. The air feels heavy, like it's thick enough to grab. I haven't slept, not even a little. I sat here all night with the bat on my lap and the microphone in front of me, talking to myself whenever I felt like my head was slipping away. I don't remember half of what I said. Maybe some of it went out on the air. Maybe no one heard any of it. It doesn't matter. It kept me from going quiet. The generator made it through the night. That is the only reason I am still here. I went outside first thing to check the fuel. Less than a quarter of the can left. That means today is the last day. Maybe tonight, if I am careful. After that, the hum that has been holding me together will be gone. The building will go dark. I am trying not to think about what it will feel like when that happens. The streets are still. The people I saw 2 days ago, rushing, fighting, frantic. They are not there now. There are fewer people every time I look. I stood on the roof for an hour this morning, scanning the streets with the binoculars I found in a drawer. I saw maybe 5 people in that whole time. None of them moved fast. They all walked like they were carrying something heavy on their shoulders. There are more cars with their doors open now, like people left in such a hurry that they didn't even shut them. Some of them still have suitcases inside. Some have groceries melted in the heat. No one bothers with them anymore. Whatever could be taken is already gone. The fires in the distance are still burning, thick black smoke, steady. No one is putting them out. They will burn until there is nothing left. The air tastes of plastic now. Even in here, with the windows open, I can taste it. It sits on your tongue. I saw something strange when I went to the roof. A man was walking down Broad Street alone. He was wearing a big, heavy coat, even though it's hotter today than it was yesterday. He had something strapped to his back, a wooden crate or a box, and he was carrying a stick in one hand. He stopped every few steps, turned his head, and looked behind him. Then he kept going. He never looked up at me, but I couldn't stop watching him until he turned a corner. It made me think about how many of us are out here now, moving like ghosts through streets that used to be alive. I keep thinking about the map on the wall, the red marks I made last night. Every time I look at it, my eyes go to the same place. North, toward Cleveland, toward my mom. If I leave, I have to do it soon. There's no waiting until this city is safe because it's not going to be. It's going to get worse every single day. The question is whether I can make it out before I run out of water. That's the only thing that matters. I've started thinking about where I can find creeks, rivers, old wells, places that don't need power. It's strange to be planning a trip not by roads, but by water. I am trying to remember the last time I drank a glass of cold water straight from the tap. How easy it used to be. How many times I walked past a full glass and poured it out because I didn't want it anymore. Now every sip I take feels like gold running down my throat. It's the kind of thing that makes you angry at yourself for all the times you didn't think about it. I walked to the gas station again this morning just to see if maybe someone had left something behind. The windows are just empty frames now. Inside, it smells like rot. I stepped over spilled bags of chips that have turned soft in the heat over empty shelves. In the corner, under a shelf, I found a single can. It had no label. The top was dented. I picked it up anyway. I don't even know what's inside. Could be beans, could be soup, could be dog food. It doesn't matter. It's food. On the way back, I saw a man lying on the sidewalk. He wasn't moving. His legs were stretched out straight, his arms bent across his chest. I didn't go closer. I couldn't. I stood there for a minute, watching to see if his chest was rising. But it didn't move. The heat was already starting to get to him. I turned and walked away. I don't know if I did the right thing, but I didn't have it in me to do more than that. There's a smell in the city now that wasn't here yesterday. It's sweet and rotten all at once. It clings to everything. I think about how it will be in a few days if no one takes care of anything. If no one can. I came back here, locked the door, and sat down at the microphone. The moment the lock clicked, I felt my lungs start to work again. That's how it is now. I only breathe when the door is closed. I don't know if I'll be here when the night comes. If the generator runs out today, I might leave at sunset. Try to make it a few miles out of the city before the dark takes over. If you are hearing this and you come to this building after today, I might be gone. Look for a note on the door. I'll leave one if I can. The sky looks different today. There are no clouds, just this flat light that makes it feel like the sun is spread across the whole sky. It hurts your eyes to look at it. The heat is already pressing down harder than yesterday. I've started tearing pieces off my shirt and tying them around my arms to keep the sun off. My skin burns now after just a few minutes outside. I've been thinking about the first day, about that flash, about how fast it all happened. One moment we were looking at our phones, living in our routines, and the next, everything was gone. I don't know if people outside the city had time to react. Maybe someone in the country is doing better than we are. Maybe they still have wells, still have ways to live without power. Maybe there's a part of this world where kids are still playing outside and not thinking about water or food or whether the night will come for them. I want to believe that. The last few people I saw today looked like they didn't have anywhere to go. They just wandered. One of them was carrying a picture frame. No bag, no water, just a frame. He held it against his chest as he walked, like it was the last thing he had left. I wonder what was in it, who it was. The boy with the backpack hasn't come back. I keep looking for him. Every time I see someone small at a distance, my heart jumps, thinking maybe it's him. But it never is. Maybe he made it somewhere safe. Maybe he's still walking. The sound of the generator feels louder than ever. I keep thinking about what will happen when it goes silent. The silence after that will feel like falling off a cliff. I've started talking more just to hear my own voice. If you're listening and you feel like you're talking to no one, know that I'm here, doing the same thing. Talking because if I stop, the quiet will crush me. If you are out there and still have strength, get ready. Find water, find food. Stay close to the ground if the sky lights up again. Protect the ones who are with you. And if you are alone, find someone. Don't wait. It's harder to survive alone than you think. I'm learning that every minute. I will keep this signal alive until the last drop of fuel. After that, I'll be out there too. Walking north, looking for water, looking for my mom. If you hear my voice now, maybe our paths will cross. Maybe not. But I'll be out there. I don't know what the rest of today will bring. The heat is rising. The light is getting sharper. The world feels like it's holding its breath again. I'm going to stay on the air until the hum outside dies. The sun is at the highest point now, and I can feel its heat pushing through the roof of this station. The walls feel like they are holding the warmth in. It is hard to breathe. My shirt is stuck to my skin, and the back of my neck is wet. I keep wiping my hands on my pants before I touch the microphone, but they just get damp again. The air smells dry, like dust and ash mixed together. There is no wind, and the flags I can see from the roof are hanging straight down like pieces of cloth nailed to a pole. The street outside is quiet, not the kind of quiet where everyone is hiding. This is emptier than that. I watched for over an hour this morning from the window and saw no one, no cars, not even a dog or a bird. The city feels like it is hollowing out. When I look down the road, it is like looking into a long tunnel with no end. The only sound is the hum from the generator, and every time it stutters, I feel my heart stop for a moment. I have been drinking slower today, one sip every hour. I can feel the water in the bottles getting lighter when I pick them up. I tried to close my eyes for a little while and rest, but every time I start to drift, there is some sound outside, a creak in the alley, a faint crunch on gravel. And I sit up fast, heart pounding. My hands keep shaking. I do not think it is only fear anymore. It is something else. Something that comes from going too long without enough to drink, without real food. My head feels light and strange. Sometimes I look at the map, and the red marks I made look like they are moving. When I went out to the back this morning, the air hit me like it was a solid wall. I stood there for a long time just staring at the alley, holding the fuel can even though there is no fuel left to pour. The world outside the building doesn't feel real anymore. The colors are wrong. Everything looks faded, like someone washed it all too many times. I walked down the alley, just a little way. At the end, I saw a pile of burned-out trash. The smell of melted plastic was strong. There were cans twisted out of shape from the heat, and a few shoes scorched black. No one was around. I do not know who left it there. I turned around and came back fast. The street felt too open. I am trying to decide when to leave. It feels like a choice between leaving too soon and leaving too late. If I wait too long, I will be too weak. If I leave now, there is still a chance I will walk into something worse than this. It is a strange thing to have to choose between staying in a place where you know you will run out of water and going out into a place where you do not know what waits. I want to tell you about a noise I heard last night. It came from across the street, near the gas station. It was like a hammer hitting wood, slow and steady. I crawled to the window and looked through a crack in the blinds. In the faint light, I could see someone boarding up the doors and windows. They worked for a long time, hammering nails. Then they sat down in the doorway for a few minutes. Even from here, I could see the way their head hung forward like they were so tired they could not move. Then they stood up and went inside. I don't know who it was. I don't know why they are doing it now, after everything's already been taken. Maybe they just need a place to hide. Maybe they want to claim it, make it theirs. I wonder what people are holding on to now. Some try to keep control. Some try to keep moving. Some just sit down and give up. Every time I see someone, I try to figure out which one they are. It is strange. The things you notice when everything else is gone. The way paper looks when it blows down a street with no cars to run over it. The way glass shines on the ground because there are no lights to compete with the sun. The way you can hear a person walking from far away just by the sound of their shoes on broken pavement. I am tired of talking about the heat, but I cannot escape it. It feels like the sun is sitting right on top of me. My skin feels hot even when I am sitting still. I pour a little water on my neck and let it run down my back. It is a waste, but it is the only way I can stay awake. I think about the boy with the backpack almost every hour now. Where he might be, if he made it out of the city. Maybe he found someone. Maybe he is still walking. There is something about that picture in my head, him walking alone, that I cannot stop seeing. It makes me feel like I should have shouted, like I should have gone after him. But I didn't. I just stood there and let him disappear. That's the kind of thing that sticks in you, like a thorn. I have been looking at the map again, thinking about the first 5 miles. The roads are blocked with cars, so I will have to move on foot between them. I will need to avoid the highways where people can see me from a long way off. I am planning to follow the smaller roads, the ones no one uses. Maybe there will be old houses along the way. Maybe there will be water. When the generator dies, this will be my last broadcast before I leave. If anyone hears this after I am gone, I will write on the door where I am heading. If I make it past the city, maybe I will start looking for another station, another transmitter. Maybe one of these places will have a way to talk again. Or maybe this is the last time. I want to tell you something I saw this morning. I was standing in the doorway looking out at the street when a woman walked past carrying a bucket. She was barefoot. Her clothes were dirty, and her hair was tied back with a piece of cloth. She walked with this slow, steady pace, like every step was planned. She looked at me once, just a glance, and then kept going. It was such a small thing, but in that moment, seeing someone who was still moving forward, still carrying something, it made me feel like there is still a kind of stubbornness left in people, that they are still trying. I do not know what will happen to this city. Maybe everyone will leave. Maybe it will just become empty streets and burned buildings. Maybe the plants will grow over it all. Maybe that is what is supposed to happen. Maybe this is the way the world starts over. The air smells like heat now. It is a dry, baking smell, like brick and dust and something sweet that has been left out too long. Every time I breathe, I can taste it. I don't think I will ever forget this smell. I will stay here until the sun goes down, and then I will decide. If the generator makes it to the night, I will talk one more time before I leave. If it dies before that, I will take my bag, my water, the few cans I have left, and I will start walking north. If you are hearing me right now, I hope you find water. I hope you find someone to walk with. And if you can, I hope you remember that even when everything is falling apart, there is still a reason to take one more step. The afternoon has become unbearable. The air inside this building feels like the inside of an oven. I keep opening and closing the doors, hoping for even the smallest breeze, but there is nothing. It's strange how much the air doesn't move now. I used to take that for granted. Wind through the trees, wind on the streets, but it feels like the air has been locked in place. The only time I feel something on my skin is when I pour a little water on a rag and press it to my face. The sound outside has changed again. It's less human now. Yesterday I could hear people arguing blocks away, but today there are long stretches of nothing. Then a single sound will crack through it all. The slam of a door, the crash of something metal falling. Then silence again. It's like people are moving less, doing less. Maybe they're conserving their energy. Maybe they're scared. Earlier, I went back up to the roof. I wanted to see how far I could see. The smoke from the fires is spreading out, flattening across the sky like a sheet. It makes everything look dim, even though it's still day. I could see shapes of buildings I used to know, towers and office blocks that I drove past hundreds of times. Now they look like ruins, even though they haven't fallen. Just standing there with no lights makes them look hollow. A city without light isn't a city anymore. It's just a skeleton. From up there I could see one of the main roads. A line of cars, unmoving. Some of them with doors open, some of them with hoods up. A few of the cars have people sitting inside, not moving. I couldn't tell if they were alive. I stayed watching for almost half an hour. Nothing changed. When I climbed back down, the generator was sputtering again. I used to think the hum of it was annoying, but now it's like a lifeline. Every time it stutters, my chest gets tight. I know it's close to the end. I put my hand on it earlier, and it's hot enough to burn. It smells like oil and metal, like something that has been running too long. When it stops, there will be nothing. I have packed a bag. It's sitting by the door. Inside, I have 3 cans of food, 4 bottles of water, a flashlight, and a small crank radio. I found a paper map of Ohio that I folded into the front pocket. That's all I can carry without slowing myself down. Every time I look at the bag, I wonder if it will be enough to make it north. I wonder if I will be able to get out of the city before I run out. I've been thinking about my route. I will have to avoid the highways, so I will take Broad Street East, then cut up through smaller roads. If I move at night and hide during the day, maybe I can stay away from groups. But the night is dangerous too. The dark feels alive. I don't know if there's a right choice. I keep telling myself to wait until the generator stops before I leave. Part of me is scared that if I turn it off and walk away, I'll regret it. This station is the last thing that feels like a shelter. It feels like leaving it behind will make me just another figure on the road, another shadow. A few minutes ago, I saw a man on the far side of the street. He stood there for a long time, looking at this building. I watched him through a crack in the blinds. He didn't move. After a while, he walked away. I don't know why he was watching. I don't know if he'll come back. That's the way everything feels now, like everyone is thinking about who has something worth taking. I haven't heard any voices on the radio since that faint crackle last night. I turn the dial every hour just in case. All I get is static. There is something about that sound. It fills your ears, but somehow makes you feel more alone. It's worse than silence, because it sounds like someone could be there, but isn't. I have to keep talking, because talking keeps me from falling into that same silence. If you're listening, even if you're not sure if anyone else is alive, just say something out loud to yourself. It's strange how much it helps to hear your own voice. I've been thinking about water all day, where it will come from. I remember a park about 3 miles from here that has a pond. It will be green and dirty, but it's something. If I can find a way to boil it, I can live a little longer. I never thought I would look at a pond like it was gold, but now it's the only thing on my mind. The heat is so strong that my head feels like it's floating. Sometimes I look around this room, and for a second, I don't recognize it. I blink, and everything snaps back into place. But it leaves me feeling like my brain is starting to drift. I don't know how long someone can go without proper sleep before they stop being themselves. I remember the last time I laughed. It was 2 days before all this. Someone sent me a video of a dog with a pancake on its head. I laughed so hard that my stomach hurt. I can't imagine laughing now. The muscles in my face feel like they have forgotten how. The smell outside is worse than ever. It's heavy and sticky. It comes through the windows and coats the back of my throat. It smells like burning mixed with something sweet and rotten. I know what it means, but I don't want to say it out loud. There was a time when this city made me feel safe, when the noise of cars and people was like a blanket. Now every sound makes me jump. Now the only safe thing is a locked door. I know I'm going to leave soon, maybe tomorrow, maybe tonight. When I do, I'll leave this microphone on for as long as the generator lasts. I'll write on the door where I'm heading. If anyone hears this and finds the note, maybe they'll follow. Maybe they'll catch up. Maybe there's still a chance that a few of us can find each other before it's too late. If you're out there right now, I hope you're holding on. I hope you're keeping your water close. I hope you're finding ways to keep going, even when everything in you wants to sit down and stop. I'll keep talking until the fuel dies. It is late afternoon now. The sunlight is weak, not bright like it used to be, but the heat is still the same. It feels heavy on my back as if someone is pressing me down into the chair. I can feel sweat dripping behind my ears. I am trying not to think about the bottles of water on the desk. They are lined up like soldiers, and every time I look at them, I want to drink all of them. I can't. I know I can't. I've been counting every sip, making the bottle last longer than feels possible. I walked to the roof again about an hour ago. I stood there for a long time, looking out across the city. The sky is flat and pale, no birds, no movement. The roads look like rivers made out of metal, clogged with cars that will never move again. I saw a truck on its side a few blocks away, and from up here, it looks like a toy. All of it looks smaller when there is no sound. That's what gets me the most. The way sound used to fill this place, even when you weren't paying attention. It was there. Cars, music, voices. Now when I close my eyes, the only thing I hear is the blood in my own ears. While I was up there, I saw a small group walking together, maybe 4 or 5 people. They had backpacks, and one of them was carrying a long piece of wood like a staff. They weren't rushing. They walked in a line, looking around, but not at me. It was strange to see people moving like that, together. They didn't seem afraid. They looked like they had a plan. I watched them until they disappeared between the cars. It made me wonder if maybe that's the only way to move now. Together. Maybe that's why I can't stop thinking about leaving. Sitting here alone feels like waiting for something bad to happen. The generator outside is loud, and I think I've started to hear it in my head even when I'm not near it. When I sleep, if I sleep, I hear it in my dreams. It's like a heartbeat, steady and tired. I keep wondering how many hours it has left. If it dies at night, I'll be walking out into a darkness I can't even describe. That thought makes me feel like my chest is closing. I want to talk about something that happened just a little while ago. I was sitting here at the desk when I heard a sound, soft but clear, from the alley out back. It was like someone tapping something metal against the ground. I froze. I didn't even breathe. It came again, slow. Tap, tap, tap. I got up and went to the back window, careful not to make noise. I pulled the edge of the curtain just a little. There was a figure standing halfway down the alley. They weren't moving toward me. They were just standing there, tapping a piece of metal against the ground. They had something over their head, maybe a hood or a blanket. I watched them for what felt like a long time. Then they turned and walked away, still tapping as they went. I don't know what they were doing. I don't know if they knew I was here, but that sound is stuck in my head now. It makes me think of someone marking their way, letting others know where they've been. I went back to the microphone and sat down. My hands were shaking so much that I had to hold them between my knees. It feels like people are moving differently now. Not like they're lost, like they're starting to form patterns. I can't tell if that makes things better or worse. I've been thinking about what it will be like to walk through this city when I finally leave. I keep picturing the streets, the cars, the shadows between buildings. I think about who I might see, who I might not see. I think about how quiet it will be when I take those first steps away from this station and there is no hum behind me anymore. That sound has been keeping me anchored. When it stops, I'll feel like I'm floating. I don't want to admit it, but I'm scared. I keep telling myself that I'm ready to go, but when I look at the door, my legs feel heavy. I have never been so aware of how fragile I am. How easy it would be to get lost, to run out of water, to walk into the wrong place at the wrong time. I wonder if anyone is still listening. I like to imagine that there's someone out there, sitting with a radio balanced on a windowsill, just listening. Maybe someone in a farmhouse outside the city, where the nights are even darker than here. Maybe someone in another city, sitting in a room like this one, with a generator of their own. I picture them turning the dial, hearing my voice, and knowing they aren't alone. That's why I keep talking, even if no one answers. I'm trying to hold on to small things. The way the sun lights up a piece of broken glass on the street. The sound of paper moving in the wind, even though the wind barely blows. A sound like that feels almost alive now. Those little things keep me here. Keep me thinking about what else might still matter. The night will come soon. I can already see the light outside starting to dull. The sky turns orange first, then pink. But it's not like it used to be. It looks dirty now, like the colors are mixed with ash. It doesn't feel like the end of a day anymore. It feels like the whole world is slipping away bit by bit. I don't know how much longer I can stay awake. My head feels heavy, like someone is pressing down on it. I keep catching myself closing my eyes for a few seconds without meaning to. That's dangerous. If I fall asleep with the door unlocked, it could be the end of me. I need to make it through one more night, maybe two. If you're hearing this, know that I'm still here. For now. If this station goes silent tomorrow or the next day, that means I'm out there on the road, walking north. And if you are close to Columbus, you'll see the note on the door. If you find it, follow it if you want. Maybe we'll meet on the road. Until then, I'll keep talking. Even when there's no one here to hear it but me. The sun has started to sink. The light through the windows is long and thin now, casting stripes across the floor of the station. Dust floats in those stripes, slow and lazy, and it makes the whole room look like it's underwater. I keep staring at those little specks moving because they are the only thing moving in here. Outside, it is even stiller. It is a strange thing to be able to look out of every window in a radio station in the middle of a city and not see a single human being. I have been pacing all day, back and forth from the door to the desk, from the desk to the door, then over to the back window, and then up the stairs to the roof, over and over. I am trying to burn off this restless feeling before the night comes. It's like my legs don't want to stop moving. I know it's fear. Fear makes you want to move, but it also makes you want to hide. Both at the same time. I opened the bag that I packed and took everything out again, checked every item, then put it all back. 3 cans, 4 bottles, 1 flashlight, 1 crank radio, 1 folded map. That's it. I feel the weight of it when I lift the bag, and it's nothing. I think about how that is all I have now. Everything I used to own, everything that used to feel like it made up a life, means nothing out there. This morning, I sat with the map for a long time. I traced the path to my mom's house with my finger again. I kept my finger on the line and closed my eyes. I imagined myself there, knocking on her door. I don't know what I will do if there is no answer. I can't imagine it, so I don't. I just stop the thought right there. I think that's the only way to keep going. Cut the thoughts off when they start going somewhere too heavy. The day felt longer than yesterday. It was hotter, and the heat sat on the city like a heavy lid. When I opened the back door, the air hit me like an open oven. It burned my face, and I had to step back inside. Even the alley looked warped, like the heat was bending it. Around noon, I heard something in the street. I thought at first it was someone yelling, but when I pressed my ear to the wall, it was more like a chant. A voice, steady, saying the same thing over and over. I couldn't make out the words. I went to the front window and peeked out, just as a group came into view. There were 7 of them, walking in a line, and the one in front was speaking, calling out something. The others just followed. None of them looked around. They walked past, their voices fading, until I couldn't hear them anymore. I stood there for a long time after they were gone. I think they were heading toward the center of the city. Maybe they are forming something there. Or maybe they were just trying to hold on to something that made sense. I stayed in the window until the street was empty again. After that, the day went quiet. Around 3 o'clock I went to the roof. The smoke from the west looks closer today. The sky there is brown, and the air smells like burned tires. I could see a column of smoke twisting up, higher than any building. It hasn't stopped since yesterday. I wonder how big that fire must be to burn for so long. From up there, the city looks like a still photograph. No sound, no motion. I could see a few streets far away with cars piled up. It looks like the start of a graveyard made out of metal. On the way back down, I heard a sound in the stairwell, a scuff, like a shoe on concrete. I froze. I stood there, holding the rail, waiting to hear it again. Nothing. I went down slow, each step quiet, my heart pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. When I got to the bottom, there was nothing. Just the empty hallway. I checked the locks on the doors again. Still shut. But now I keep thinking about that sound. Maybe it was the building settling. Maybe it was something else. I can't stop hearing it in my head. I sat back down at the desk and turned on the radio. Static, like always. It fills the room, but it's not the same as a voice. It's like being in a crowd where no one is looking at you. I'm trying to think ahead to the night, whether I'll leave before the generator dies, or if I'll wait for it to cut out and then walk away in the dark. Both feel like bad choices. Leaving means stepping out into streets I can't see. Waiting means sitting here in the silence until there's nothing left in me to move. I don't know which is worse. I keep thinking about the moment the generator goes silent, about the hum vanishing, leaving only my breathing. That is what I dread most. That moment. I keep thinking maybe I'll just pull the cord myself, get it over with, let it happen on my terms. But then I think about the dark that will fall, and I can't do it. I don't want to see how deep the quiet goes. The sun is lower now. The light on the walls is orange. It makes the whole room look like it's on fire. But there is no heat coming from it. It's a trick. Soon the orange will fade to gray, then black. Then it will be time. If you are listening, this might be one of the last times you hear my voice from here. If the fuel runs out tonight, I will leave. If it lasts until morning, I'll speak again before I go. If you come here after that, look for the note on the door. I am going to keep talking for as long as I can tonight, because talking is all I have left. I need to tell you this before the light is gone. If you're out there, and you still have people with you, hold on to them. Even if you are tired, even if you're angry, even if you think you can't take one more step, stay together. If you are alone, find someone. It's the only way this doesn't eat us alive. This silence will pull you under if you let it. Don't let it. The light is dimming. I can see the tops of the buildings turning black against the sky. Soon it will be just the glow of the fires in the distance, and nothing else. I'll stay on until the hum dies. The last bit of sunlight has gone now. What's left outside the windows is a flat kind of gray that is turning black by the minute. The smoke from the west has hidden the stars again. There are no lights on anywhere, not even a candle in a window. The city looks like it has been turned inside out. I keep expecting to see a shape move between the cars, but so far there is nothing. I can hear the generator more clearly at night. It's like the hum fills the whole station, and when everything else goes silent, it feels louder, like it's right inside my head. Every time I think I'm getting used to the sound, there is a little dip in the rhythm, a kind of stutter, and I feel it in my chest. It makes me sit up straight, staring at the lights to make sure they're still on. I've stacked a few chairs and boxes near the front door. It's not much, but it gives me the feeling that if someone comes through it, I'll have a second to get to my bat. That bat is always in my hand now when the sun goes down. I sleep with it across my lap. I think I even dreamed about it last night, though it wasn't really a dream. Just a long stretch of half sleep where I was listening to noises that weren't there. The noises last night were strange. Sometimes they are clear. A crash, a shout, a window breaking. Last night it was softer, almost like whispers. I woke up more than once, sure that someone was talking outside the window. When I sat up, it was just the wind, or what I thought was wind, until I remembered that there hasn't been any wind since the day the sky burned. I wonder if I'm starting to hear things that aren't there, or maybe there really is someone out there, close enough to speak, but too quiet to see. A few hours ago, I heard that same tapping sound in the alley that I told you about yesterday. Slow, metal on concrete. Tap, tap, tap. Then it stopped. I held my breath for a long time. When it didn't start again, I went to the back window and peeked out, but the alley was empty. I don't know what it means. I don't know if it's a way to signal. I don't know if I should be worried, or if someone out there is just as lost as I am. This station smells like stale air, sweat, and old paper now. I've been here long enough that it doesn't surprise me anymore. The only clean smell left is when I open a bottle of water. It's such a small thing, but when you smell water now, it's like something soft from the old world coming back for a moment. I opened my bag again earlier. I don't know why I keep doing that. Maybe it's to remind myself that I still have something to count on. I touched every item, put it all back, zipped it up. The bag feels heavier at night, even though it hasn't changed. It's not the weight of what's in it. It's the weight of knowing it has to last. I've been thinking about the moment I walk away from here. The first step. I keep trying to picture what the road will look like in the dark, how much sound my shoes will make, whether I'll be able to tell if someone is following me. The truth is, I don't know how far I'll make it. Maybe I'll walk until my legs give out and fall asleep on the ground. Maybe I'll wake up to someone standing over me. I have to stop thinking about that, or I'll never get out of this building. A few minutes ago, I turned the dial on the shortwave again. Just static. But right at the edge, faint, there was a sound. Not a voice. More like a hum that didn't belong. It lasted for maybe 3 seconds, and then it was gone. I don't know if it was real. I pressed my ear close to the speaker and waited for it to come back. But it didn't. I keep wondering if that means someone is out there, somewhere far away, still trying to reach out. I've been trying to stay awake. My head keeps nodding forward. The heat makes it worse. Every time I close my eyes, I see flashes of the first day, the white light covering everything, the cars stopping, the people standing in the street staring at their dead phones. The moment when everything we thought was permanent just turned off. I see my mom's face too. I picture her standing at the window of her house, looking out, waiting for me to come. I wonder if she's still there, if she's waiting, or if she already started walking like I'm about to. I'm not ready to talk about what I'll do if I get there, and she's not home. That thought stops me cold. I push it out of my head as fast as it comes. The city has a sound now that's different from anything I've heard before. It's not just silence. It's a hum of nothing. If I open a window and lean out, I can hear the heat. That's the only way I can describe it. It's like the air itself has a low hum. I used to think I wanted silence. Now I would give anything to hear traffic again. I think about the boy with the backpack all the time, about whether he found anyone, about whether he's lying in a park somewhere right now, staring at the sky. There are 100 people like him out there. I know it. Kids who woke up 2 mornings ago with parents and lights and phones and woke up yesterday with nothing. I can't stop seeing him walk away. If I could leave this building right now without feeling like I'm stepping into a pit, I'd go look for him. But I can't even make it past the alley yet. I will leave, though. Soon. The night feels thick tonight. It feels closer to the windows. I can hear something far away. Maybe a voice, but it's hard to tell. Everything echoes weird now. I'm going to stay here and keep the microphone on as long as the fuel lasts. If the sound of the generator cuts out, that means I'm on my way out of this city. If you're hearing this, know that you're not the only one awake tonight. The generator just gave a sound I haven't heard before. A deep coughing sound, like something heavy grinding together. For a second, the lights dipped so low that I thought I was looking into the bottom of a well. I stood up fast and just waited, holding my breath, staring at the ceiling like I could hold it up myself. The hum came back, but it's not steady anymore. It feels like it's limping. I don't think there's much time left before it dies. It is strange to realize that a machine is the only thing keeping me tied to this building. The moment it stops, I stop being anchored. The night is full now. There is no moon, no stars, just black, thick and heavy, pressing against the windows. It's a different kind of black than anything I've seen before. In the city, night was never really dark because there were always lights. Now it's like someone pulled a blanket over the world. I hear noises outside again, not voices this time. Movement, software a step, then another, then it stops. It's like someone is testing how close they can get without being heard. My bat is in my hands and I can feel sweat dripping from my palms onto the wood. I am not sure if anyone is really out there or if my head is making it up again. I keep walking to the back window and peeking out, but there's nothing there. No shadows, no figures, just the alley. But I know the sound of feet on gravel. I know what I heard. The air in here smells like hot metal. Maybe it's the generator. Maybe it's just the heat building up in these walls. I try to open the doors a little for air, but the moment I do, I feel the city looking back at me and I close them again. The bag is still packed. Every time the hum dips, I grab it without thinking. I could walk out that door now, but I'm still sitting here because there's a part of me that hopes I'll hear another voice before I go. I don't know how long I can last if I wait too much longer. My water is down to 3 bottles. I used a little to wash my hands today, just to feel clean for a moment. I regretted it the second the drops hit the floor. It's strange how quickly things lose meaning. 2 days ago, I would have laughed at myself for worrying about a bottle of water. Now it feels like holding on to life itself. I wonder if anyone else out there is thinking the same thing I am right now. Wondering if they should leave or stay. Wondering if there's someone waiting for them far away. The map on the wall is almost torn at the edges from how many times I've touched it. My road is clear in my head now. I can see every turn before I even make it. I just have to wait for the right moment. Today, I saw something that stuck with me. From the window around midday, I saw a man and a woman standing in the street, facing each other. They weren't yelling. They weren't even talking. They just stood there, staring. Then the man handed her a bag. She took it, turned around, and walked away without saying a word. He stood there for a long time after she was gone, like he didn't know what to do with his hands. Then he left too. It made me think that there are still deals happening, even now. People finding ways to trade, to share. That small moment in a city that has gone so quiet. It stayed in my head all day. I think about how we used to live without ever really thinking about the fact that we need each other. Everything was a screen, a card, a signal. None of that is left now. What's left is hands. People standing face to face and giving something away. I've been hearing more noises today, like someone moving through the cars out there. Every now and then, there's the sound of something metallic shifting. It's not close, but I can tell it's coming from the bigger street that crosses this one. I don't know what's waiting out there. That's the part that keeps me sitting here. If it was just about food and water, I'd have left yesterday. It's the people that worry me more than anything. People who don't know me. People who have already given up. The air smells different tonight. It has a sweet edge to it, almost like fruit that has been sitting out for too long. Mixed with the heat, it's a smell that clings to you. Even my clothes smell like it now. My arms are tired. My eyes feel like they have sand in them. I am talking slower because my head feels heavy. I keep telling myself to just stay awake a little longer. If I can make it through one more night, maybe the morning will make things clearer. I heard a sound earlier that made me stop breathing. It was faint, like a radio far away, but I swear I heard words. I turned the dial so slowly, listening to every tiny hiss of static. The sound came and went, like it was being blown on the wind. I only caught one word. East. I don't know if it was real. I don't know if it was someone calling from another station. But I know I heard something. It made me sit up straighter. It made me feel, for just a moment, like someone is still talking to someone. I don't know how long the generator will last tonight. Maybe an hour. Maybe less. When it stops, I'll leave. I can't sit here in a building without sound. I've been thinking about the first time I walked into this station years ago. How small it felt then. How it smells like paper and wires, always faintly dusty. Back then, I hated that smell. Now it feels like safety. I don't know if I'll ever come back here after tonight. If you're hearing this, I want you to know this is not me saying goodbye. I'm just going to try and find something out there that feels like living. Maybe one day I'll find another way to talk. Maybe you'll hear my voice again. For now, I'm going to hold on to this last bit of hum and keep talking until it goes quiet. I can feel it in the air that the generator won't make it much longer. The hum is uneven now, like someone is dragging a heavy stick across the ground, and every few feet it hits a rock. The lights flicker more often. Every time they dim, I grip the bat tighter, because it feels like the whole room is going to disappear. It's close to midnight. The city outside feels like it's gone hollow. When I look out the windows, I don't just see the dark. I see streets that look like they've been drained of people, of sound, of everything. I went up to the roof again tonight. I had to do it slow, step by step, holding the flashlight low to the ground so the light wouldn't spill too far. I wanted to see if there was anything out there, any other lights, maybe a fire that's closer than yesterday. The roof was like stepping onto another planet. It was so quiet that I could hear my own breathing bouncing back at me. When I leaned over the edge, the streets below looked endless. Cars still frozen at angles from 2 days ago. A city stuck in place. Off to the west, the smoke is thicker. There is an orange glow behind it that moves like the sun, but it's too far away to see what's burning. It hasn't stopped for days now. I can smell it even from here. I stayed on the roof for a while, long enough for my eyes to start seeing shapes that weren't there. My head was spinning by the time I came back down, and I don't know if it was from the heat or from not eating enough. Down in the station, It smells different now. There's a sour smell that wasn't here before. It's coming from outside, but even with the windows closed, it finds its way in. I've been thinking about leaving as soon as there's the faintest light in the sky. Not waiting for the fuel to die completely. Just going. If I can make it a few miles before the sun really comes up, maybe I can find a creek or even a rain barrel. I don't know what the city will look like once I'm out of these walls. I don't know if I'm ready to see it. Earlier tonight, I heard something. It wasn't the tapping sound this time. It was like someone was dragging something heavy across the street. The sound of metal on concrete. I stood at the window, but I couldn't see anything. Just the faint scrape. It came closer. Then it stopped. Then nothing. I stood there for 10 minutes with my hands pressed to the glass, barely breathing. It's strange how quickly you start to feel like prey in a place you used to walk without thinking. I thought I saw a shape between two cars, but I can't be sure. Maybe it was just the way the light was catching a piece of glass. I went back to the microphone because I didn't know what else to do. Talking makes the silence feel less sharp. I've been turning the dial on the radio every hour, still listening for anything. A few times I thought I heard something faint, like voices buried under the static. It's like when you're underwater and you hear people talking on the shore. You can tell it's human, but the words don't reach you. I wish I had more time. I wish the generator would last another day. But I can't stay here until it dies and traps me in the silence. The thought of the moment it cuts out keeps me awake. I know it's coming soon. I've decided to leave at first light. I'll take the bag, take the bat, and walk north. If you're listening and you come here after that, there will be a note on the door with the date and the direction. The streets at night sound different now, not louder, just sharper. Every sound feels close, even when it's far away. I heard something like a cough maybe an hour ago. Just one sound. Then nothing. I've been thinking a lot about my mom again. I wonder what her nights are like now. If she's sitting somewhere with the same kind of bag packed, waiting for daylight like me. I hope she stayed in her house. If she went out, it's worse. The country roads can be dangerous too. People think it's safer outside the city, but there's no one to hear you scream out there. When I was little, we used to drive those roads together. She used to tell me about how her parents grew up on farms. No electricity, no phones. They just knew how to take care of everything themselves. Maybe she remembers enough of that now. Maybe she's okay. I keep telling myself that she's okay. It's almost 1 a.m. now. The generator's hum is slower. I can feel it in the floor. I think tonight I'm just going to sit here with my eyes open until the faintest bit of gray shows up in the sky. I'm too wired to rest. I'm not even sure what I'll say when I see someone for the first time out there. Will I ask for water? Will I ask if they've seen her? Will I ask if they've seen the boy with the backpack? There's no plan for that part. If you're listening now, know that this might be my last night here. When the sun comes, I'll start walking. I'll leave the station door locked, with the note taped to the front, and I'll keep talking as I go, even if no one hears.